You hear the gas gong before you see the cloud. Someone is hammering a shell casing with a rifle butt, screaming one word over and over. Gas, gas. The cloud is already 50 yards out, yellow-green, drifting slow. You fumble for your respirator, but your fingers are numb, and the straps are tangled, and the man next to you, Private Dawson, is still asleep. You shake him. He doesn't wake up. You slap him. Nothing. Then you see it. His eyes are open. He's not asleep. He's dead. Shell fragment. Sometime in the night. You didn't even hear it. The cloud is 30 yards out now. You can smell it. Bleach and something sweet. Phosgene. You finally get the mask on. The rubber seals against your face. You breathe through charcoal and pray the filter holds. But here's the thing. The gas attack isn't the worst part of your day. It's not even close. Let's go back 22 hours and see how you got here. It's still dark when Sergeant Whitfield's voice cuts through the cold. Stand to! Every man! Now! You haven't slept. Not really. Maybe 2 hours in fragments. Curled in a funk hole carved into the trench wall, wrapped in a greatcoat that smells like wet wool and something worse. Your boots haven't been off in 4 days. Your feet feel like they belong to someone else. You climb onto the fire step and point your rifle toward the German lines. 300 yards across no man's land, German soldiers are doing exactly the same thing, pointing rifles at you, waiting. This is the ritual. Dawn and dusk, the two most likely times for an attack. Both sides stand ready, staring into the gray. 30 minutes pass. Nothing happens. The sky turns from black to gray. Whitfield walks behind you, checking rifles, checking faces, checking for men who died in the night. 2 men did. Dawson will make 3 by tomorrow. Stand down! The best moment of your day comes from a stoneware jar stamped SRD. Officially means Supply Reserve Depot. Everyone calls it seldom reaches destination. Corporal Hargreaves pours 2.5 ounces of Navy rum into a shell cap. He hands it to you. It burns going down. For 30 seconds, you feel almost warm. Breakfast is bacon, when there's bacon, and tea that tastes like petrol. The water comes in tins that used to hold motor fuel. Nobody cleaned them properly. You drink it anyway. Private Jennings opens a tin of McConaughey stew, cold, gray. He takes one bite and gags. Tastes like a dead horse. That's because it is, Hargreaves says. Nobody laughs. Lieutenant Ashworth walks the line. Rifles first, then feet. You unlace your boots for the first time in days. Your socks are wet. They're always wet. Your feet are pale, wrinkled, soft in ways feet shouldn't be soft. The skin between your toes is starting to crack. Ashworth moves to Jennings. Jennings hesitates. Then he pulls off his boot. His foot is gray, black at the edges. The flesh is dying. You can smell it from 3 feet away. Ashworth writes something in his notebook. Report to the medical officer. You're done. Jennings nods. His face shows nothing, but you see his hands shaking as he laces his boot back up. You watch him walk down the communication trench toward the rear, toward England, toward amputation and a cane and a pension and a life. And you feel something you're not supposed to feel. You look down at your own feet, still pink, still functional, and you think about shoving them into the standing water at the bottom of the trench, leaving them there for a few days, letting the rot set in. You don't do it, but you think about it. That's the kind of man the trenches turn you into. The morning is for work, filling sandbags, stacking sandbags, shoring up trench walls, pumping water, cleaning latrines. You're not allowed to look over the top. A man in your platoon raised his head 3 inches last week to light a cigarette. The bullet caught him above the left eye. He dropped without a sound. So you work with your head down. You fill sandbags. You don't look up. By noon, there's nothing to do but wait. Some men write letters. An officer reads every one before it's sent, crossing out anything useful to the enemy. Most letters say the same thing. I am well. The food is fine. Don't worry. Some men play cards, betting cigarettes they don't have for money they won't spend. Some men chat, not conversation, chatting. Running a candle flame along shirt seams to kill the lice. You stopped counting the lice weeks ago. Somewhere past 50, it doesn't matter. Around 2 o'clock, you hear it. A voice. Faint. Coming from no man's land. Someone is alive out there. He's been calling since noon. English words. British accent. Could be from a patrol that got caught last night. Could be from the shelling 3 days ago. Doesn't matter how he got there. What matters is he's 60 yards from your trench. Still breathing. Still calling. You could go get him. Climb over the parapet. Crawl across the mud. In broad daylight. Find him. Drag him back. 10 minutes. Maybe less. Snipers miss sometimes. Nobody moves. Whitfield doesn't give the order. Ashworth doesn't give the order. Nobody looks at each other. You just sit there, backs against the sandbags, listening to a man die by inches. His name is Parrish. You find out later. He was 22. He had a photograph of a girl in his pocket. He lived for 9 hours in a shell crater with his stomach open. Around 4 o'clock, the voice stops. You tell yourself there was nothing you could do. You tell yourself it would have been suicide. You tell yourself the smart play was to stay put. You're right about all of it. That doesn't help. A private named Cook crawls into your funk hole. He's shaking. He's been shaking since the shelling 3 nights ago, when a direct hit buried 4 men alive, 10 feet from where he was sleeping. He holds out his hand. There's a pistol in it. German. Luger. Probably pulled off a corpse in no man's land. I can't do it myself, he says. They'll know. They'll tell my family. You stare at him. Shoot me in the foot. Make it look like a sniper. Please. Self-inflicted wounds are a capital offense. Firing squads. But accidents happen. Sniper rounds come from every direction. A man could step wrong, catch a ricochet, take a bullet that nobody saw coming. You could do it. You could shoot him in the foot right now, and he'd be on a stretcher by nightfall, on a ship by next week, home by Christmas. All you have to do is pull the trigger. You look at Cook. You look at the pistol. You think about Jennings walking toward the rear with his rotting foot. You hand the pistol back. I can't. Cook doesn't argue. He just nods, crawls back out. You don't see him again until after the gas attack. He's one of the 3 who don't make it. After midnight, Hargreaves picks 6 men. Wiring party. You climb over the parapet into no man's land. 300 yards of mud and shell craters and bodies. Some weeks old, some months. You can't tell German from British anymore. Your job is to repair the wire. Work in silence. Don't cough. Don't sneeze. German sentries are 50 yards away. If they hear you, they send up a flare. If a flare goes up, you freeze. You don't move. You don't breathe. A man named Crosby snags his sleeve on the wire. Tiny sound. Metal on fabric. A flare goes up. You drop flat, face in the mud. The light is blinding. You can feel it on your back like heat. Your heartbeat pounds in your ears. The flare drifts down. Darkness returns. Nobody got shot this time. You crawl back to the trench at 0200. Your hands are cut to ribbons. You sleep for 90 minutes. You wake up to screaming. Not artillery, not gas. Something worse. Close. Inside the trench. A flare goes up from somewhere. German flare. Green light. And in that light, you see them. 6 Germans in your bay. Blackened faces. No rifles. Just clubs and knives and sharpened spades. Trench raiders. They came over the top while the sentries were watching the wrong direction. 3 men are already dead. You can see Corporal Ellis on the duckboards. His head is wrong, caved in on one side. A German is standing over him, pulling a club out of what used to be his face. You don't think. You grab your rifle. No time to aim. You fire from the hip. The shot goes wide. Hits sandbag. Does nothing. The German turns, sees you, starts moving. You try to work the bolt. Your fingers won't cooperate. Too cold. Too scared. The bolt jams halfway. He's on you before you can clear it. The club comes down. You twist. It catches your shoulder instead of your skull. The pain is white, electric. Your arm goes dead. You fall backward into the mud. He's standing over you now, raising the club for the second swing, the one that finishes it. Then, his chest explodes. Whitfield, 10 feet away. Rifle still smoking. The German drops on top of you. Dead weight. You can't move. You can't breathe. You just lie there under a dead man while the fighting continues around you. 90 seconds. That's how long the raid lasts. 90 seconds, and then they're gone. Back over the parapet, into no man's land, like they were never there. Whitfield pulls the body off you, checks your shoulder. Dislocated, not broken. He pops it back in without warning. You scream. You're fine, he says. Get up. You get up. You look at Ellis. You look at the 3 others. You look at the blood on your hands that isn't yours. 90 seconds. You survived because Whitfield was faster than the German. That's it. That's the only reason you're alive. The gas gong wakes you. You're back where we started, fumbling for your mask. Dawson, dead beside you. The yellow-green cloud, 30 yards out. You get the mask on. Breathe through the filter. Your eyes burn anyway. The seal isn't perfect. It never is. The cloud passes over. Men who didn't get their masks on are on the ground, coughing, choking, Phosgene doesn't kill you right away. It kills you in 48 hours, after your lungs fill with fluid. Cook is one of them. You find him slumped against the trench wall, respirator still in his hands. He never got it on. You wonder if he tried. At 0600, relief arrives. Fresh troops moving up. Your unit rotates back to support. 4 days in the fire trench. 4 days in support. 4 days in reserve. Then, back to the front. You walk out through the communication trench. 3/4 of a mile of mud. Whitfield walks beside you. 4 days off. Clean your rifle. Get some sleep. You nod. You don't say anything. There's nothing to say. You'll be back on this fire step by next week. Same trench, same mud, different corpses.